Hi, I'm Tori, welcome to my channel. I usually do vlogs about my life in Korea and taking little trips with my husband, but today we're doing something a little bit different. So just like 3 weeks ago, we actually officially legally got married and we had our ceremony in April. So I'm making a video today about the cultural differences around weddings and the legal process of getting married in Korea as a foreigner. So if you're interested in that, please stick around. I will put a little disclaimer that I have not yet got my marriage visa, the F6 visa, so that will not be covered in this video. I will do a whole video about the F6 visa once I have it. But I'm currently on a work visa and it doesn't expire until March, so we're probably not going to start my visa process for like another month or two because we've just done so much lately. So we're just taking a little break from doing admin, bureaucratic, signing papers and stuff. Just taking a little break and then we're going to get onto my visa situation in a little while. So yeah, with those disclaimers out the way, let's get into the video. I'm going to start with the cultural differences because that's the order we did the wedding, and the legal part came last. If you're just interested in the legal part, like the papers you need, how to get married as a foreigner, how to do the marriage registration and stuff, please go to this timestamp and that'll skip out all the cultural stuff and just get right into the paperwork side of things, and let's get started. Okay, so difference number one is proposals. So in the West, we usually have this idea of like a big romantic surprise proposal, someone down on one knee, ring, heartfelt confession. And I'm sure there are people in Korea who have done it that way, but generally, from what I understand, Koreans just kind of discuss, hey, I'm ready to get married, I think it's time to take the next step, how do you feel about it? Yeah, I think so, let's start planning our wedding. Like, it's more of like a discussion, which is not a bad thing. I do think you should definitely be on the same page and know that you're on the same page. So like my husband and I had discussed before getting engaged that like we were sort of ready to make that next step, but I told him I expected a Western proposal. Whereas, like I said, the Korean way is more just like, okay, we're engaged, you know, like they just kind of decide together and then that's it. It's not a surprise or anything. And then they might have a like proposal photo shoot near to the wedding time, actually. And it's not always a ring. A lot of Koreans don't even wear a lot of Koreans don't even wear wedding rings. Why is that so hard for me to say? And they just aren't as common over here. So even engagement rings, they might instead do like a Chanel bag for the photo shoot or like, you know, something like that. So yeah, if you are planning on getting married to your Korean partner and you expect a proposal, or you plan on even proposing to them in the Western way, I would recommend discussing it with them first. Because a big public proposal might make them uncomfortable, they might not be expecting it, or they might not know that you're expecting it. So yeah, have that discussion with your Korean partner. And that's like, I think the biggest one, because it needs to be a discussion, you know, so that no one's disappointed or surprised, like in a negative way. Yeah, so that's number one. Okay, number two is pre-wedding photos. This is where you get dressed up in like full bridal gear, full groom gear, hair, makeup done. You go out to beautiful locations with a photographer and you take pictures in wedding outfits, but it's not your wedding. And you're going to use these pictures on Instagram, on your invitation. It's just to be pretty and because it's fun. Like, that's it. We didn't do it and I kind of regret it. Like, maybe we can do it for an anniversary or something. But yes, it's not like the end of the world if you don't do it. We didn't. I slightly regret not doing it, but like we still got married without it. It's not like a big deal. It's more just like if you want to do it kind of thing. Yeah, so that's difference number two. Okay, difference number three is invitations. So I mentioned the pre-wedding photos. Usually people will use those on their invitations and then they will send them out. And it's usually about what, I would say like 2 or 3 months before the wedding that you get them. We just got one for a wedding in October. And it's a really short timeline, right? Like we usually send wedding invitations out like at least a year in advance in the West. But they do it here so short because, first of all, Koreans generally do things on a shorter scale. Like funerals are done like within days of the death. Like everything is on a much faster time frame. But I also think, coming into difference number four, weddings are shorter. Weddings take 2 hours here. You have the ceremony, you have a buffet, you go home. So it's a 2 hours of your day. You're asking someone like, hey, can you spare 2 hours? Or I guess if you're including travel time, let's say 4 hours. Can you spare 4 hours on a Saturday morning to come watch me get married? That's a lot better than asking someone to give up like a whole afternoon or a whole day or a whole weekend like we do in the West. Like in the West, it's a whole day at least for a wedding, right? Sometimes it's like a whole weekend. So I think that's why they can do it on such a shorter scale, is because the wedding is so short. Ceremony, food, you're done. We did have an after party. We like booked a room and there was karaoke and it was really fun. But that was like not an expected thing, and we had to kind of explain the concept to a lot of people, like a lot of the Koreans, like, hey, the wedding is over, but we're having a party, like, you know. So yeah, I recommend doing that if you want to extend your wedding day and have a lot of fun with everyone, because honestly, the ceremony, you can't talk to anyone, and the buffet is like, it's hard to talk to people because everyone's just eating, right? So yeah, I'm glad that we did that. But yeah, the wedding is really, really short, is the difference number 4. Difference number 5, and I think this also kind of ties into the wedding being so short. A lot of people will wear like business casual, or even just like straight up casual clothes to your wedding. Now, close family, close friends, people with like roles in the wedding, so like the person who collects money for you, which is usually like a cousin or a sibling. I'll get into the money thing in a minute. Or like obviously your parents. Because we did a traditional wedding, one of Jaehoon's friends had to like carry a wooden duck. Yeah, those people will dress very nicely, like what I would consider as what we would wear to a Western wedding, you know, like very nice dresses or a suit. But most people will do business casual or straight up casual. Like they might come to your wedding in jeans, and it's not really a big deal because it's like 2 hours, you know. So that was one, and then that was number 5. Number 6 is no gifts, money only. And I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. But people will give you either an envelope filled with cash, which this is where you have like a cousin or a sibling whose job it is to literally sit at a desk, and on the front of the desk, it will have like your bank information so people can transfer stuff to you via bank, or like it'll just like, they'll have just someone at the desk reading like, hello, give me money, please. What's your name? And literally you have a book. We have a wedding book. I don't actually know where it is right now. I think it's like behind the door. We have like it still in like a cardboard box. We have a lot of our wedding stuff. Because we need to move to a bigger place. But yeah, literally you'll have someone there who, whether they do a bank transfer or cash, their job is to count the money, or like see the, like they'll show them the bank transfer and they write down the name, if it was bank transfer or cash, and how much it was. This is so that if we go to a wedding in the future, if my husband's parents go to a wedding in the future, we know like, okay, they give us 50,000 at our wedding, we should give them 50,000 at their wedding. His parents can be like, oh, they're like, because his parents invited a lot of friends, and they do this to like pay each other back, right? So like his parents were invited to their friend's son's wedding, right? And they gave 30,000 won. So then they invite that friend to their son's wedding, and she gives 30,000 won. And his mum was a little bit stressed, I think, because we only had 100 people at our wedding, which is a small wedding in Korea, because the parents have so many people that they want to invite to, you know, return on the money, if that makes sense. Because like one of the reasons you do it is because like, oh, I give this for your son, you give this for my son, you give this for my daughter. It's like kind of an exchange thing, which it's just the way that they do things here. So there were definitely people at my wedding that my husband didn't even know, because his mother was like, oh, these people are, you know, either like close for her, so she wanted them to be there. It's definitely more of like I do feel like in a way it is kind of also more for the parents than we consider in the West. Like in the West, if your mum was like, no, I want to invite my friend that you've never met, you'd be like, well, what do you want about? But here it's more like, yeah, okay, fine, you can. It's like showing off. They want to show off in a way. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing or anything, but that's definitely a difference. So literally I had to already know how many people I had coming to my wedding, so I could tell my mother-in-law how many people she could invite. So I was like, okay, I think including my parents, I'm going to have like 25 people. My husband was only inviting like 5 people. So then it was like, okay, everyone else, my mother-in-law can invite. But that includes like grandmothers and siblings and cousins. Like there were people there that we knew. But anyway, I'm going off topic. But yeah, so that was actually number 7, which was expect your in-laws, if you're the foreigner, to invite a lot of people that even your partner doesn't know. It's just the culture. It's people that are important to them. It's people that are going to give you money, honestly, at the end of the day. And they will still be supporting you, you know, like they're all very happy to be there. They're all very lovely and excited for you and to see you. So I don't have any problem with anyone being there that was there. But yeah, just expect that, okay? Yeah, and I think another one of the big differences, I think the 2 biggest differences, honestly, are proposals, and then this one, you can't get legally married at your ceremony. The only way to get legally married in Korea is to go to the city hall and sign and do the documents there. You cannot get married at a ceremony. That is the only way to get married, right? So yeah, that's the biggest one, along with the proposal. But the proposal is more just like personal taste. The money not gifts thing, I honestly prefer that. I would be so stressed having to pick like a huge number of gifts for people to buy me, and then also you're like demanding like, hey, spend this much on me. Whereas if you do the money thing, people can give you as much as you want, you know, like if you only give me a $5, that's fine, but at your wedding I'm giving you a $5, and that's not me being petty. That's generally what the understanding is. Whatever you give me, I will give you later. Like it's an exchange, right? I like that so much more. So now if we go to a friend's wedding, I pull out my little book. Okay, this is how much, you know? It's great. It's great. Instead of having to worry about what to buy as a gift or think of a gift to ask for. Yeah, those are the biggest ones, I think. Yeah, so on to the legal stuff. So for the people who skipped ahead to just the legal stuff, just one little thing, which was in the cultural differences, I do think you need to know, is that you cannot get legally married at your ceremony. You need to go to a city hall to do that. So I'm going to be going through all the documents you need before you go to city hall. So starting with number 1, I'm going to put my pen down because it rattles and it makes a noise. Before anything else, it's valid for about 3 months, or the British one was, you need an affidavit. I'm going to put the spelling here because I'm honestly not sure how to say it. An affidavit of eligibility to like get married. So for me, I had to go on the British government website and I had to find out, like look for getting married abroad, look at what I needed, apply for an appointment at the embassy in Seoul, go to Seoul a few weeks later, do an interview, fill out a form, show them loads of documents, and then they gave me the certificate. So it's like basically proving that I'm not currently married to anyone else, that I am a British citizen, that I am who I say I am, and that I can legally get married. Like there's no reason I shouldn't be able to get married. Like I'm not a minor, I'm not currently married. And you do have to go to the embassy to like do an interview and actually get that. It's not like a full relationship interview. It's more just like they'll be like, actually, it's not really even an interview, sorry. It's literally just like you have to swear like I am, like there's a whole like formal thing you have to read out, and you have to like swear, put your right hand up, like I am, nothing I've written is untrue, that sort of thing. And then they'll give you the certificate the same day. And then that needs to be translated, but it doesn't need to be like formally translated or like legally notarized, the translation. So all we did was we came home and my husband typed out the translations, and then he has to like write his name and his personal information and sign it because he is the translator, not because he's my husband, because he was the translator. And then, oh my God, what is that? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So he had to put his like information on it as the translator, and then that was it. Like we would give them the official document that was notarized and then translation to go with it. And that was all we needed to do for the embassy. We had to apply for it, I needed my passport and my ID, my husband's ID, like our Korean ID. I had to bring my housing contract, or was that for, we did it on the same day. We went to Seoul, got my document, came back to our city, my husband translated it, and then we went to City Hall all in one day. So I'm kind of confusing what documents we needed, but you will need them at some point anyway. The birth certificate was only for the embassy document, but I think housing contract was both, actually. Yeah, I think the housing contract was both. So, because they needed proof that I was residing in Korea, obviously. Yeah, so that's only for the foreigner, though. Your Korean partner doesn't need to get this because it's their country. But if you are a foreigner getting married in Korea, you need to get a thing from your embassy proving that you can get married. So whatever that is in your language, whatever that is in your country, check your restrictions on how, or check your requirements on what you need to get it and how to get it. But yes, you do need that. That is a requirement for all foreigners. I also did see that some countries like China and a couple of others have extra documents that they need and extra steps they need to take, but I'm not familiar with those because the UK doesn't have to do it. So I'd recommend checking special requirements for your country. Your government website or your embassy website should have that information for you. Okay, and then the other stuff we needed was, I needed my passport. My husband obviously didn't. Our ID cards, both of our Korean like ID cards. We needed the completed, signed and witnessed marriage registration, which we just got online. The marriage registration form, which my husband filled out. His parents were our witnesses. They didn't have to come to the actual City Hall with us. They just had to like sign the papers with their information. I think it's to like, so obviously they have like, you have like social security numbers in Korea. So I think they verified they were real people. I was like, okay, so these people are real. They were verifying that you are a real couple kind of thing. They didn't contact them or anything. I think it's just to like, you know. And then the other two things we needed were family relationship certificate, which is 가족관계증명서. I'm going to write the name up here because I probably butchered that pronunciation. Family relationship certificate. I don't know what the purpose of that is. I don't think we have that in Korea, in the UK. And then family census registry, which is 제적등본. It's like all of the hardest thing for me to say, the dung and the bon. I can't, because they sound really similar to me. Family census registry. And I am now actually on Jaehoon's like family registry. The wife gets added to the husband's registry usually. Yeah, that's literally all the documents we needed. So it wasn't actually that many to get married. It's affidavit, passport, both of our ID cards, and then the 3 other ones. So it's really not that many. It was like 6, 7 in total. So that's the easy part. The hard part is the visa. Sorry about the pen. The visa is going to be like so many documents. We have to prove our relationship. We have to prove funds. We have like the visa is a lot harder than the marriage certificate. And that's actually the next point, which is you don't get your marriage certificate on the day. We found out that our paperwork was all processed. It was processed in the same day. They told us, oh, it might be tomorrow. And then they did it like 2 hours later. We got a text saying that it was done. Literally, we got a text, hey, you're officially married. Like your paperwork has been processed. You're married. Again, not marriage visa. I'm still here on a work visa. But like we're legally a married couple. But yeah, you don't get the physical certificate. A lot of the Korean stuff, like documents that you would have, like in the UK, I have my passport, not my passport, I have my birth certificate, I would have my marriage certificate if I was married, like in the UK. We have a lot of our own physical documents, but in Korea, you just download it from the government website because they have social security numbers. So you just download it from the government website when you need it. So when we need it, which we will need for the visa process, we just download it and print it. Yeah. So those are all the differences. I hope I haven't yapped too much. I tried to keep it mostly factual and then added a little bit of my own anecdotes in there so that you could see the process, see how it really was for me. Also, please admire my new phone case. It's my cat's. I put it a little too far to the left so you can't really see Louis' face. But aren't they so cute? So it's like 2 pictures of both of them and then smushed together. Anyway, you don't care. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back to vlogging next week. Yeah. It doesn't seem like I recorded that long. It's probably going to be like only 15 minutes, but it's literally taken me an hour to get this video out because I kept tripping over my words and I kept like messing up what I was saying. So yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Goodbye.